Coach Chris Smith of the Eisenhower Eagles. And Coach, last year you guys came out of the, I guess, out of nowhere to make the playoffs. You won 5 of your last 6 games, ended up the season at 7-4, and you're losing a few people this year with your running backs, Kadari, Joe Metz, and Andrew Sikowski. What do you got planned this year for this year's offense?
I think last year we had a first-year quarterback too, so I think as the year went on, he got better. I mean, he threw a lot of picks and made a lot of bad decisions early, but that's something you expect from a sophomore quarterback. He's got a whole year under his belt. He's got a playoff win under his belt, and he's bigger, he's stronger, and so far he's been making better decisions. So I hope that helps us early in the season. But again, we're replacing a lot of guys. We're replacing 5 offensive linemen. Running back like Salkowski, Metz, and Kadari, those 3 will be tough to replace. But, we got guys. We got guys in the skill position that can play football, can play this game. Just need to get them experience in the game.
Tell us a little bit about on the defensive side of the football. Now, last year you guys gave up more points than you scored, but it still wasn't a whole lot of points, just over a couple hundred points last year, and that included the playoffs. But tell us about defense and how that's shoring up.
Well, defensive, we got a lot of guys back. And I think our defensive backs, they look really good so far early in the season. Very athletic, fast, and physical. So we're hoping for some good things out of that defensive backfield. I think the defensive line, we got 7 or 8 guys that can really play football. And at linebacker, we got guys with a lot of playing experience. So defensively, we're going to have to, probably carry the load early in the season until our offensive line comes along. But I think defensively, our guys look pretty good so far. The thing is about defenses nowadays, because of these spread offenses, you're going to give up more points. I mean, it's impossible to stop all this spread completely. So you're just trying to minimize the damage that these offenses can do to you and try to create turnovers. So this year we've really been emphasizing creating turnovers.
And speaking of creating turnovers, your special teams last year saw a dramatic improvement from the year before.
Right, and I think you're going to see the same thing this year. A very good special teams unit. We got a lot of guys on the team that can play and contribute in that area. So, and a lot of team speed. And if you have that, then you can have that contribution in the special teams area. And we're hoping for some good things here. We're replacing our kicker and punter. So we got some guys working, and hopefully we can be somewhat like we were last year in those areas.
We're here with Eisenhower offensive coordinator John DeGiorgio, and John, this 2016 Eagle offense has a few talented players to replace, especially at the running back position.
Yeah, we graduated 2 running backs last year, and Andrew Salkowski and Joe Metz, and we got a guy right now that we think is pretty good, Jack Preventure, and a guy that played as a sophomore and a junior obviously last year in the slot position. We're going to move him to tailback, and we're got a couple guys in mind for the number 2 spot as well.
And can these guys catch out of the backfield like Kadari Johnson?
Yeah, we got some pretty good skill players. I think our outside receiver position has definitely improved, and our slot position, as far as receiving, has improved as well.
And talk a little bit about your quarterback. He's had a year under his belt, as Coach Smith said earlier. What do you notice as a big improvement of him?
Well, the first thing is physically he gained a little bit of weight. His arm strength has improved tremendously. And then, overall his knowledge of the offense and, identifying coverages and defensive fronts, that he's improved tremendously in that area. He was a baby last year, started as a 15-year-old and won us 7 games and won us a playoff game. So we're really excited about him.
So he's got a driver's license this year.
Yeah, he finally got his driver's license. I saw him actually pull up today and had to do a double take just because I saw him driving. But yeah, he's still a puppy, but he's made some great strides.
Now, towards the end of last year, you're kind of turning him loose and letting him run a little bit. Partly scared and partly talent there. What do you plan this year? Think you're gonna hold him back a bit?
No, we plan on turning him loose. He definitely last year we had some design run plays for him, and we plan on doing the same thing. He's very athletic, he's very fast, and if he gets the edge or if he finds the seam in there, he can take off, and he's very instinctive, and he's dangerous when he's got the ball in his hands. So we want to keep the ball in his hands.
And rebuilding the offensive line, you lost a lot of guys up there too. How's that coming along?
It's coming along. I would say the first week was probably a little slow, but then some guys really started stepping up in the second week of practice. Hopefully we'll see some good things today in the scrimmage. But we got probably 3 core guys right now that we think are pretty good. We're looking for probably the other 2 right now.
And tell us a little bit about the style of this offense. I mean, what are we going to see out there for this Eagle offense?
Well, we're a gun triple. Obviously we like to run the football, but we have all the formations in the plays to spread it out and pass it downfield as well. And we feel that now with our receivers on the outside, we have some pretty good guys that can go deep, and you'll see us throwing the ball a little bit more.
With Eisenhower's defensive coordinator, Dave Brzezinski. Dave, last year was kind of a challenging year for you guys, but your secondary came up with some big interceptions this year. You got some guys that you've lost, some bigger guys, but tell us a little bit about the overall team defense here for Eisenhower in 2016.
Well, we're excited about this season. We got quite a few guys coming back that have experience from last year. At one point last year, most people know that we had 9 juniors starting on defense. So, but as the season went on, we progressed, and that was the biggest thing. So we're hoping to take that into this season. So we got a lot of experience, we got a lot of speed, we got some plugs up front, and that junior class has been pretty impressive.
Well, last year you got some good play out of your secondary. They came up with some big interceptions for you.
Yeah, they did. They did a nice job later on in the season. So we bring just about everybody back. We lost Red Bicky, but we bring up a kid, Fantazzo is his name. He's playing corner. He's been a pleasure to see, and we knew he was good. So he'll get some time, and we got some real competition back there. So depth is important in this league. The MAC Red it's a tough league. So
what about at linebacker?
Linebacker, we bring back Smick. We lost Saputo and Goff and some other guys that were backups, but. We're hoping to see some guys here that can play. We got Carlo in the middle. We got Corey in the middle that are competing. We got Decker on the outside. We got a kid named Minnie, and some other guys you're going to see today. So,
Coach Smith's son Logan is now transferred to the defensive side of the football. How's he coming along?
He's coming along good. He's nursing a little bit of a hamstring issue, but. He's a big kid, and he's got a lot of speed. So we're hoping that he can use that speed and size and hold his ground, So, but we got Sammy Voltaggio back, Lametta. This Belt kid's playing great in the preseason. He's another Lametta type plug up front, and we got guys rotating up front too. And you got Henry Janeway, who's playing on the end, and Luke Jelli from last year. So again, we're pretty good up front. So we're excited.
Well, traditionally, the Eisenhower defense has been a hitting defense. Do you see anything different in this defense?
Well, no. I'm hoping to see the same thing. So far, we like what we saw last Saturday at the Blue Gray. So hopefully these guys will bring it today and every day throughout the season.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders. And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Let's talk about this year's schedule for the folks. You guys had Plymouth at your place last year, so now you have to travel down to Plymouth. And while they did lose some players, they seem to have retained a few good ball players, including at running back.
Yeah, they got a Division I running back. He's actually a Division I linebacker, but he plays running back also. They're gonna have good players all over the field, and they're gonna be physical. Plymouth team in the league that they were in with Plymouth Canton and all them, very physical football league, and so we got to be ready for a physical game that first week.
Yeah, and speaking of physical, the next week you go to arch rival Macomb, Dakota, and that's going to be a physical game, and even though they have a new coach.
Yeah, I mean Dakota in the last couple of years, their freshman and JV teams have been outstanding. So. Those kids are all moving up, and this could be one of the best athletically that Dakota's had in a long time. So, yeah, of course, they're going to be tough. It's a rival game, and hopefully we can get our kids prepared to play that game.
And then you stay on the road, a third straight road game to open up the season, and you play at Roseville.
Yeah, we haven't played at Roseville for a couple years. And so, I know last time I watched them, they had a new offense in, similar to what we're running. And I know they got a quarterback back, and they're physical in their front line. So they have some good things rolling over there at Roseville right now.
And then you come back and finally the home opener September 16th against Chippewa Valley, the Big Red, who are always a powerhouse in the MAC Red, but you handled them last year pretty good, though.
Yeah, I don't know if we handled them pretty good, but we came away with 2 wins. I mean, I think our playoff win last year was a very close game. It came down to the last play of the game. And, against Chippewa, it always comes down to, the last series. And so we don't expect anything less this year. We're going to be in for a battle, and our kids will be prepared to be in that battle.
And then another home game the following week against state champion Romeo.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. You're playing the state champions. We came away with the win in the regular season last year, but in the end, the state championship means a lot more than a win for them over us. So, they're the big dogs right now in the state. You got to try to dethrone the team that's on top.
And then you go back out on the road against Lance Cruz North, and that's always a tough place to play.
Well, not only a tough place to play, but their offense is so opened up. They throw the ball over the place, and anything can happen when you throw the ball like they do. So, it's going to be a track meet for our defensive backs, I think, in that game. And
last year, you guys handled Plymouth in the first game. You won that first game. You came into the second game, you played Sterling Heights Stevenson, and they kind of waxed you pretty good there, and maybe this one's a little circled on your calendar for this year.
Right, well, I thought Stevenson was probably the best team in the league last year. Physically and athletically, they had definitely the best quarterback in the league. That guy's gone, but they still have some of that physicality back, and they just kind of slipped up towards the end of the year, had a couple tough games. But they're going to be good. They're well coached. The coach over there is doing a great job. He's smart about football. So, and it's a rival game for us. We're always excited to play in those rival games.
And then you come home and you play Warren Mott, a team that you had to beat last year, and you did. And they were kind of a powerhouse last year. They got a lot of good ball players. What do you expect from them this year?
Well, I saw them in their scrimmage today, and athletically, they're probably the best team in our league that I've seen as far as athletes on the field. They're loaded all over the place. And so, by that time, we're going to know what they are, and they're going to be a very good ball club. I think they're going to be the team to beat in our league.
And then your final game is October 21st against Utica Ford. You haven't played them in a while, but you get a chance at them again this year.
Yeah, no, we're excited to get them back on our schedule. We love to play the teams in our district. And we're just, glad they're back on our schedule, and it's the last game of the year, and they're going to be up for, beating Eisenhower. They haven't played us in a while either, so that should be a really fun game, and I think it's our homecoming game.
Okay, Coach. Well, best of luck to you this year, and a return trip to the playoffs, and maybe a little farther this year would be apropos.
Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take one more look at the 2015 Eisenhower Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed our 2016 Eisenhower Eagle football preview show. For Coach Chris Smith, I'm Tim Meyer saying we'll see you next time right here on the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review.